It is night 5 of the 2020 Olympic trials, and you are watching Splash on Deck, presented by Xfinity. I'm Amy Van Dyken, your host, and we are going to be having a blast tonight, getting you ready for the finals. We have got some big races in store, some big finals, some big semifinals, and look at that. That's what you want. If you see your name on that board, that means that you, my friend, are an Olympian, and your name will be there for the rest of history. Oh my gosh, listen, if you have been here, you know exactly how much activity is going on around us. We are in the Aqua Lounge, but we've got the pool right over there. And last night, we had some killer races. Let's go ahead and show you the highlights from the men's side. And we're gonna start with the 100-meter freestyle. This was a semifinal. And here you had some big names in this heat, and you can see they all got off to a really great start. This one was pretty much wire to wire the whole entire time, except right there, you can see that Blake Peroni made a move. Someone's name who you did not see was Nathan Adrian. He did not advance to the finals. Here's the second semifinal heat. And again, some great names in here. You've got Stewart, Dressel, Held. Who is going to win it? And you can see right there with that long arm stroke, straight arm stroke, Caleb Dressel. Then you've got Zach Apple and, of course, Mr. Held there. And they will all advance to the finals, which will be tonight. We had the 200 breaststroke again for men. Such a great stroke. You could kind of see that we had kind of a slow start there from lane number 5, but don't worry about that because we got a little ways to go. And look at these beautiful strokes. Nice, even, no one's bopping their head up and down, but look at this. Look at this finish. All three of these guys right there, and it was Fink and then Wilson, and Roy took third. That was really a spectacular race to see in person. And here was the second semifinal heat, and we're gonna keep our eye, of course, on Cordes because he's a returning Olympian, but we also got Foster in there, so you know this was gonna be a great semifinal heat as well. I'll tell you what, these races left no one disappointed because look at this again, top 3 down to the wire. Matt Fallon takes it, and of course we got Kevin Cordes in there. Look at his face. This is what I love. That is genuine excitement. Men's 200 butterfly, this one was a final. So many great names. Once again, we had Orlando in there, we had Trenton Julian in there, we had Zach Harding. And right here, it was pretty much a great heat going into that first 50. And watch this. Coming home, we had 3 guys that could take it. But watch the white cap right there. Zach Harding wins it. And he got to sit on top of the lane line. And if you watched us last night, he said you can only do that if you win. And then the best part. What a cool kid. We got to talk to Zach Harding last night as he just became an Olympian, and I just thought the coolest thing in the history of ever was when he asked me, what do I expect to do now? So sweet. So we will continue watching him, but we had some women's races last night as well. We need to get you all caught up on that before we head into the finals tonight. So let's go ahead and see what the women did last night. And we're going to start with the 200-meter butterfly, and there she is, Miss Reagan Smith in that pink cap. I love that she likes to wear that because we can pick her out from anywhere, and I love her underwater work. It is so great. She goes a little bit further than a lot of the others, but as you see, she also pops up ahead of a lot of the others. And here she is coming into the finish. She still looks strong, hips still up, and there she is. She wins it. Congratulations. What a great race. And yeah, she deserves to breathe like that after that. And then heat 2, we had Haley Flickener in this heat, so you know we're going to keep our eyes on her. And her stroke, again, so effortless, so easy. These girls make it look easy. See how their hips are getting up, throwing their arms forward, which is so important. And there is Haley Flickener ahead of everybody by half a body length, heading into the finals tonight. It's going to be a great showdown between her and Reagan Smith. So excited and love seeing the young faces. Then we had the women's 200 individual medley. We had some Olympians from 2016 in this heat. This was really a heat to watch. We had Cox, Douglas, We had Tori Husk, who had won the 100 butterfly, made her Olympic team American record, but it came down here to the finish. Such tight finishes in these races for the Olympic berth. And there it is, Alex Walsh winning. So excited. Look at that, 2 Cavaliers from Virginia. And then we had the 1500 freestyle. Do we even need to talk about this? When Katie Ledecky is in the pool, you know that she is going to put on a show, and she did not disappoint last night, that's for sure. She took off after that first 50, held a lead, and look at this. Katie Ledecky coming in for her finish, getting on that Olympic team for the first mile that will be in the Olympics. So excited to watch that. And she had another race also last night. It was kind of the Katie Ledecky show, but before the mile, she swam this 200 freestyle. It was just an hour between each. There she is, getting ready. Had Allison Schmidt in that race also. She's been an Olympian since 2012. This we were going to crown 4 Olympians so that we could make that 800 free relay. So keep your eye on all 4 of those. Of course, Katie Ledecky is in first, and let's see who gets her hands on next. Then we've got Allison Schmidt, we've got Madden. What a great relay. Katie McLaughlin, look at Schmitty, so excited. And hugging her teammates. What a night it was. And again, I've said it once before, I've said it again, that is the best part of Olympic trials, is celebrating with your teammates when you make the team. Congratulations, Schmitty. Someone that I celebrated with not once but twice on 2 Olympic teams, Miss Amanda Beard. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic.
You look so good.
My goodness, I love you more.
Okay. So we were on both of my Olympic teams together, and then you continued on.
Yeah, for just a little bit longer. Yeah.
So
it wasn't the same without you.
Well,
not as much shenanigans and fun, that's for sure.
It's probably a little more quiet.
No. We have people stirring the pot all the time. Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely.
Good. You need those people.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to come back to Olympic trials?
To be honest, putting that into words is really weird, just because I've come and watched another one where I didn't compete or try. There's like mixed emotions of like, yes, I don't want to be training to like have to stand up on those blocks and dive in and do that and perform. But then there's a part of you that's like, oh man, like I could totally do it again. But then I watch the times and I'm like, no, I can't.
Isn't it so funny? I look at the times like that I won with in '96, and they wouldn't make finals.
It's crazy.
It's so fast.
I always, in my mind, I'm like, how can it continue to get faster? And it does, and it's amazing. And that's what's exciting about the sport, right? Because if it just stalled out, then it would lose some of its fun and its luster. But because these athletes continue to just really grow and evolve, it makes it such a cool sport to follow and watch.
Yeah, it is. And when you talk about getting faster, Lily King in your disciplines of breaststroke.
Ridiculous.
What do you think of her?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's possible. Like, she's throwing down times where you're like, oh, okay, that's what like the men were doing when I was swimming. And I wasn't swimming that long ago.
Correct.
You know, like we still had tech suits. We still had cool things that we were wearing. but now it blows my mind, and props to them for all their awesomeness.
Have you talked to Lily at all?
No, I'm pretty much, I'm staying away from especially the competitors for the most part. I'm like, I'll watch from the stands. That's where I feel most comfortable. Sure.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like, does she like go up to her and be like, hey, high five, good job, good luck?
She would probably love that.
Oh, well, in my mind, and I'm cheering, like I cheered for her watching her in her prelims for her 200 breast and stuff. So I'm cheering for her, and I think she's fantastic and awesome. I guess it's more like my shyness, you become like a fan. Like you step away from being an athlete and you become a fan of them. And so it's the same thing. You're like, oh, I'm not going, oh my gosh, Lily King and all these other fantastic athletes. I'm just scared to approach them because I'm fangirling.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've got some other people that you can fangirl over. We're going to head out to the pool and we're going to talk to Caitlin and Brendan about what to expect tonight.
What's up, Omaha? It is day 5 of the U.S. Olympic Team Trials. We're your hosts. I'm 2-time Olympian and 4-time Olympic medalist Caitlin Sandino.
And I'm 3-time Olympian, 6-time medalist Brendan Hansen.
Last night we had 5 more athletes that came up this elevator right here as they have been announced as a U.S. Olympic team member headed to Tokyo.
Yeah, Allison Schmidt got second in the 200 freestyle. Paige Madden, Katie McLaughlin, great stories there, first timers. And then Alex Walsh winning the 200 IM and finishing out the night with one of the crowd favorites, Zach Harding, in the 200 fly.
Absolutely. We have to just shout out Allison Schmidt making her 4th Olympic Games. I mean, that's so impressive. But like you said, we have a lot of first-timers that are continuing to add to that roster.
Just think about the math behind 4 Olympics. That's 16 years of being at that top level. I just don't want to overgo it, because we've had so many people do that kind of thing. But for Allison Schmidt to do that, you saw tears in her eyes, the emotional response to that was great. And then what's the word I'm looking for? Perseverance.
Yeah,
the perseverance out of Katie McLaughlin, who was 8th at this event in 2016, to come back last night and put herself on the team was awesome. But then I loved Zach Harding's quote. And you want to say, go for it, but it was
Zach
just awesome.
It's the best to win because you get to sit on the lane line.
That's the best line ever.
I absolutely love that. And we have to shout out Katie Ledecky, now qualified in 3 events.
And those doubles will be important as we look at this 52-person roster. As we start to add people to this Olympic team, we need to start seeing more doubles as we start to add that second person in.
Absolutely. And we're only 36 days away from Tokyo Games. So much more fast swimming to come. Get yourself on that big screen. Make sure you use the hashtag SwimTrials21.
And Caitlin, I'm going to tell you, I heard from a little birdie that tonight's going to be the most people we've had in this place. So that gets me excited because day 5, we're on the backside of this. These athletes I've already swum once or twice. They're tired, but they need this crowd to get fired up.
Yeah, absolutely. Show that energy. Don't be afraid to get on your feet. Get those cheers going. Let them hear you because we've heard it every night. The athletes feed off your encouragement.
Yep. So be there. NBC tonight, 7 p.m. Central. Get out and get on it.
Oh, thanks so much, you guys. We love hearing from the pool deck. Also love hearing from former teammates, Amanda Beard. We were not just on 96 together, we were on 2000 together, and we're celebrating, if we can believe this, the 20th anniversary. So I want you to just take a look. We're going to go in a time machine.
Great.
And take a look back.
And in lane 8 is Amanda Beard. And don't forget about Amanda Beard. She's got great closing speed. She is in lane 8. Can Kowal hold off Kovac? Kovac is making a strong move in the final meters. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Kovac. Just out touching Christy Kowal. And Amanda Beard slips in there for the bronze. So the United States goes 2 in 3 in the women's 200 breast.
Talk about an outside smoke. What were you doing in lane 8?
I wasn't supposed to be on that Olympic team. I was I wasn't supposed to be there. So, and then to go to the Olympics and then actually make it into finals. And I remember, because lane 8, that's not a fun lane to be in, especially, well, for any stroke, but for breaststroke, if you swim it correctly, you're not looking around to the side. So I had no idea what was going on. And Frank Bush, my coach at the time, was just like, leave it all in the pool, just leave it all in the pool. It doesn't matter, you've got water. Doesn't matter what lane you're in, you got water, so you can do this. And I was like, I can do this. Oh. So I got 3rd. I haven't seen that race, I don't think, since probably since 2000.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So that was pretty fun to watch.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
We're full of surprises.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Everyone's been saying that. They're like, that's super. Look at me back then.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was so cute. But we were also on the 96 team together. And I have to say, I do, when I give speeches around the country, bring you up in every speech.
Oh, no.
There were 2 things that really cracked me up that you did. You're 14 and I was 23. So there was the age difference.
Big
and I remember
difference.
after we were done swimming, you and I were everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And you came up to me and said, hey, Amy, I don't know if you remember this, do you want to come and get a tattoo? Oh. And I go, yeah, Amanda, I would love to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You go, well, good, because they need my mom to sign, and you can be my mom.
I do remember that. But I got permission from my parents, promise.
Right. No, you did. But I'm like, there's no way we're going to go into a tattoo shop and they're going to think that I'm your mom.
Well,
they know.
I think we look pretty similar.
Thank you for saying that.
So I think, but definitely you weren't old enough to look like my mom at that time frame. And I totally chickened out because I wanted to get the Olympic rings. That was 1996. I wanted to get the Olympic rings. So my parents were on board because that's something special. But I chickened out, and then I never ended up getting them ever in my career. So I have other tattoos. So I don't know. I think it was my one opportunity to go get it. And since Amy wouldn't be my mom, I just never recovered from it.
Ruined your Olympic rings experience, Amanda.
It would have been a cool story, though. Be like, yeah, I took this 14-year-old in to get a tattoo.
You know what would be a better story?
Oh,
is
no.
if tonight you and I go, you get the rings and I'll get something else.
Oh, gracious. Well, I go to bed pretty early, so you'll have to find me. I'll probably be in my pajamas watching baseball in my hotel room.
Oh, Amanda. And you have a swim school, and I got a shirt from there, and I wear it literally all the
Oh,
time.
it's super soft, huh?
So soft.
It's my number one pajama outfit, for sure.
Is it really? So if
Yeah.
people want to get this shirt that we're now talking about, where can they go to get the shirt?
Well, they can message me, and I can get one sent to them.
I have loved watching you grow up from a 14-year-old little girl carrying a teddy bear to a mom and a wife. You are just amazing, and I'm so thankful to have you in my life, and I'm thankful to have you on this stage. So thank you for taking the time to be with me today.
Anytime.
You're the
It's
best.
an honor.
You're the best. Again, Olympic gold medalist Amanda Beard.
Caitlin Sandino and Kevin Cargill here in the announcer's booth. Kevin, let's get into the women's events. We only have one final tonight.
I know.
It's kind of a bummer.
Kind of a bummer.
Last night we had so many.
Yeah.
But the 200 butterfly, a very good one, a very exciting one indeed.
This is really cool. So Haley Flickener, who was second at trials 5 years ago, has just looked so smooth
She really
the
has.
whole way. And so I'm really excited to see what she throws down, kind of making a statement headed into the games. Now, that being said, Reagan Smith is right there, and they've had just these really good races in the Tier Pro Series, just time and time and time again. I'm really expecting to see that again. And then you have Charlotte Hook,
Right.
Tech Titans Gunner are having a good meet already with
Absolutely.
Tori Husk on her way.
Yep.
Another youngster that I feel like could get in there, maybe interrupt the whole thing.
Absolutely. Fans, that's a hard race, so make sure
Oh,
you get
yeah.
on your feet and cheer for them. They can really hear you at the turns, when they're breathing. It's going to be a show, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then we have two finals events tonight, the 100 freestyle and the 200 breaststroke. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that 100 freestyle, which has been, I feel like, long anticipated.
Yeah, I feel like we just had to wait so long to get to sprint freestyle, but we're finally here. Semifinal. Look, it's going to be crowded
Yes.
in the women's race. And as Brendan eloquently put it, you got to get out and you got to get on it. And that's the only thing you can do. There's only 8 spots left. So you have to be fast. And we saw this morning some of the bigger names sitting in 5th, 6th, 7th,
Right.
might be in a little bit of messy water. Who knows? You got Abby Weitzel, Olivia Smaliga. Natalie Hines looked
Yes.
really smooth this morning.
Absolutely.
That was a really good swim for her. And then Simone Manuel. I mean, what else can you say? But her name, and everybody knows what's coming with it.
Absolutely. I thought Abby looked really great this morning. And somebody else I think we could keep our eye on is Linnea Mack.
Oh, yeah.
Really swimming really strong. I thought she looked great. Going into the semifinal, the 200 breaststroke. What are you
Yeah.
thinking about this one?
Okay, well, I don't know what to think about this. All I know is that when I watched Annie Laser this morning, she looked in control. Lily King has done all sorts of crazy things all sorts of times, so I don't know what to expect. All I know is that you need to be in the right spot because it's going to be a race against people, not necessarily a race against time tomorrow night.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a kind of a quick show for the ladies tonight, but nonetheless, it's going to be so exciting. We'll kick it over to Brendan and Michael to hear about the men's events this evening.
I will always remember the day you kissed my.
Oh, it's so great to hear what is going to happen tonight. I've got someone here with me that you may know as one of the top sprinters in the United States, but we all know him as Cullen Jones. He's a swimmer, but what else is he up to?
Welcome to the 2017 Golden Goggle Awards here in LA Live, sunny LA. As Rowdy said, this has been such a blessing in my heart. I've come from a family that always said to give back, and USA Swimming Foundation has been able to give $4.3 million in grants to local partners all over the U.S.
So, Cullen Jones, you are a very,
Yes, ma'am.
very busy man. So, you're a host of the Golden Goggles.
Yes.
And you do so much. What else are you doing?
So right now, my biggest goal is still to try to diversify the sport. I want everyone to know that swimming is for everybody. And I know a lot of people know about Make a Splash and the work with USA Swimming Foundation and Phillips 66, but there's so much more work to be done. And so I just joined the USA Swimming Foundation board, so I get to hear all the great things and be a part of that. So it's been a lot of fun. And I don't know if you can tell, I work for Speedo now. And
I can tell. No.
All of my worlds are coming together.
That is awesome. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting, and I love what you're doing with Make a Splash because we are seeing so many more people of color
Yes.
in the finals.
Yes.
I mean, how does that feel? You were one of a few.
Yes. You know, I feel like I got the baton from Maritza Karaya and Sabir Muhammad, and, you know, I'm not trying to hand it off yet. I like it too much, but Simone's taking it. Simone's running with it, and
Yep.
I couldn't be more proud of her. Reese Whitley,
Yeah.
you know, Shane Cassis. There's so many people. Oh, I'm sorry. Tori.
Right?
Can we talk about Tori?
Let's talk about
Can we
Tori
talk about
Husk.
her 100 fly?
Please.
Her, like she said in prelims, no, I'm going off. And I couldn't be more happy to see more people of color swimming, and not only swimming, representing Team USA.
Well, yeah, and breaking American records left and right.
And that little tidbit too.
I mean, I think if she swam it again, she'd probably break it again.
She looked like she had so much more in the tank.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to seeing her in Tokyo and just tearing it up.
Right. And it was
Tearing
fun
it
to
up.
watch her in the 200 IM just take it out.
Yes.
That butterfly.
Yes. And she's so young, 19 years old. She's got plenty of time to get that back half. You know she's got it in there. If she
Right.
can go out that fast, she's going to be a threat for 2024. Don't you worry.
Oh, of course she will.
Absolutely.
Of course she will. So we're going to watch her tonight. There's someone else tonight that I know that you have a special piece in your life for.
Yes.
I have a special piece of my heart for.
Yes.
Ryan Lochte.
Who? I'm kidding.
Ryan I didn't know what to say right there.
Gotcha. I'm telling you, when it comes to Ryan, he used to get worried and nervous when I race. I sit there and I watch him race, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, speed up. And I know he's got more in the tank. He touches the wall, he's just smiling, and I'm like, stop giving me heart failure, man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great race tonight. I'm really excited to watch that, and I feel like he's a caged animal here. He's ready to go, and so I'm excited about tonight. But I'm really excited to see him get on this relay team. Get on the team.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, exactly. And were you worried, or you probably already knew, we didn't know, but all of a sudden I see him pulling out of races, and I
Yeah.
start getting nervous, and my stomach sank.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way, or you knew that was coming?
I kind of knew a little bit that was coming,
Okay.
not because I had any kind of information about that, but I just know that when I get up at 37 years old, that I get a little, I don't feel
Right.
too poppy, but no, I think that there's a strategy, and
Yeah.
I know his coach Greg Troy very well, and he's been my coach when we're on Olympic teams. He really thinks about all the things that he's doing, especially when he's thinking about Ryan's future. And old man's gonna make it. Old man's gonna make it.
He is. Absolutely. It's going to be weird for him, though, to not have you there.
Yeah, I'll be there in spirit.
Okay.
And I definitely wish that I could be out there to support him, like physically,
Yeah.
of course. But he's going to go out there and put on a show. He's going to put on a show.
Will you guys FaceTime?
Of course, all the time.
Do
we
you
can't
really?
play spades anymore, but yeah, we
Oh
we
my
do
gosh,
FaceTime.
you
yeah.
guys and your cards getting
Yes.
so loud. And so if people don't know, there is competition outside of the competition.
Oh, absolutely. So it was always Michael and Ryan would team up because they hate to lose, and I had to find another partner, and then we would beat them up. And it was usually Ricky Barron's.
Oh,
But
my gosh.
Our
Well,
spade games were
Let's
good.
see what Brendan's got for us right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Sorry about that, Cullen. Let's
Yeah,
go check out
sure.
the pool.
And we're here in the booth with Michael Parapat, the men's announcer The women have a light night tonight, but the men are jam-packed, and we are on day 5 on the backside of this competition. So let's talk a little bit about the men's events. We're starting off with the 800 freestyle. This is the first time the men have ever swam it.
That's right. We have got drama from top to bottom tonight. All these races are going to be lit, Brendan. In that men's 800, you've got some young swimmers in Ross Dant, Will Gallant, and Bobby Fink. But then outside on lane 8, you've got Jordan Wilimowski. He's already made the Olympic team. He's a 10K open water specialist. He was also a finalist in the 1500 meter at the Rio Games. He knows what he's doing. Look for him out of lane 8.
And strategy is going to come into play because most of these milers are swimming down, so that speed's going to come into play when they start to use it, right?
Big time. And, it's going to be, we'll see. It's in the first 200, 300 meters, who's going for the speed, who's going to play cat and mouse and wait and see who's going to make a move. I think it's going to be pretty exciting.
And then when you talk about cat and mouse and speed and all that stuff, let's talk about the 200 breaststroke final. You have an 18-year-old as your top seed right now in Matt Fallon.
Matt Fallon, just ridiculous last night, coming home in a 105.2 on the second 100. It was like, where did he get all that energy in the final 50? But he has got a field of veterans to deal with in Nick Fink, Kevin Cordes, Andrew Wilson, Will Lacone. This is a who's who of greatness in the 200 breaststroke.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be that timing finish that we've seen in these short axis strokes, the butterfly and breaststroke, where it comes down to those last couple strokes. But that'll be a race that the crowd can get behind this crew, huh?
That's right, and we're going to ask on you guys for all that support. Again and again we say it, the athletes hear you, they feed off the energy. We are working all together as one to create the best Olympic team possible.
Let's talk about the need for speed. The 100 freestyle final.
100 freestyle. We're going to see Caleb Dressel trying to make the Olympic team tonight. He's coming in as the top seed, and he's got some guys to contend with. Zach Apple and Blake Peroni out of Indiana. These guys have been swimming so well. And then out of NC State, Ryan Held, Coleman Stewart. These guys are on fire. I think this relay is looking pretty good.
Dare I say they have to get out and get on it?
Most definitely do.
Let's talk a little bit about the semifinals. You have the 200 backstroke and the 200 IM for the men. Like I said, a lot of events for them.
Yeah, so that first 200 backstroke, we're going to see a couple young guys there in Destin Lasco, Jack Akins. And then the 200 IM, you got a pretty tight story going on with Michael Andrew, Ryan Lochte, Chase Kalish, all to finish up the night, which is, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of 2 really, really big nights we're going to have here. We're going to be calling on you.
So get your popcorn, find your seats, because this show's about to get started.
4.
And then 5, turn,
5.
kick.
We got chased by these wild coyotes. We were following her because she had beef jerky in her pocket.
Someone behind me, come on. Pick that up, right there.
As long as you keep making the internet an amazing place to be, we'll keep bringing you a faster, more secure, and more amazing internet. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Once we start swimming,
We're in for life.
We swim with goals.
Let's get it going, come on.
With joy.
With our community.
A community that believes swimmers don't just do something fun.
They become something exceptional.
Come join us here, where we love this sport.
Oh, if you could be a fly on the wall at the commercial with Cullen Jones and Amy Van Dyken. It's Splash on Deck presented by Xfinity. And we just had to keep you around, Cullen, because
Absolutely.
we were talking
Thank
about
you.
the Spades games.
Yes.
Right? Which competition outside of the competition.
Yes.
But let's talk about this competition for a moment. What do you
Absolutely.
feel like when you come through the door?
First off, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not swimming.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Your heart rate starts pumping. You get sweaty palms. I'm going to do an Eminem verse now. I'm not going to do that. Mom spaghetti. There's a lot of feelings coming in here, and it's awesome to, again, with COVID and everything that's happened. I'm just happy that we're having this. This is a sign. It's a feeling of normalcy. Everyone feels extremely comfortable, and we're seeing some awesome racing.
It's kind of weird, and I not weird, different and exciting, but we're seeing new names.
Yes.
Do you think that's because of the year? Because think about it,
It's a great question.
and I would also like to ask you how you would have handled it if you were swimming and that happened.
Fetal position, crying. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, agreed.
I think a lot of athletes had to deal with the mental side of things in a way that they've never had to before. I've talked to quite a few of them, and they're just like, well, what do I do? 2 months before you're supposed to race your biggest race or your first time going to a trials, and you're told shut down.
Right.
And so I had a lot of swimmers that were very upset at every level. We had to switch. We couldn't even go in person and start talking to swimmers to actually tell them what to do. We had to resort to Zoom and all of these other ways to contact people. But that mental side, I think, made people stronger. I think that extra year, yes, people had to kind of reevaluate, reset.
Yeah.
But if there's anything we've been told or anything that we've learned from that, it's the people that are making this team are extra prepared to be in Tokyo and to represent Team USA.
Oh, that's awesome. I always said that the one guy I was worried about was Ryan, because I'm like, listen, when you get as old as we are, and I want to see him in another one.
Absolutely.
But he's doing great.
Yeah, no one else has told him that he's old besides me. So he just still thinks he's young. He still thinks he's 21.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Don't we all, though?
Yes.
Don't we all? You were talking about your age at
Absolutely.
37. I'm like, I remember 37 like it was fleeting. It was, totally. Oh my God.
Yes.
Cullen, I would be remiss if I did not ask you, because you are a sprinter, 100 freestyler, did it in the Olympics.
Yes.
Who are you picking 1-2 tonight?
I really have to say Caleb and Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm friends with everyone in the top 8, which really is hard because you want everyone to make it. Actually, top 16, I know all of those guys. And so, you see names that you don't see in there, and it's really hard to kind of, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's what the Olympic trials is. You see some people, they just don't swim the perfect race at that time, but you still want to support them and you still want to see them win. But I got to say tonight, I think it's Ryan and Caleb.
Oh, I love that.
Ryan Held and Caleb.
Oh,
yeah.
And this is always a 1-2 where I don't know if you do what I do. When the race goes off that you were in, you grit your teeth, hold your breath.
Oh, 100%. I'm swimming it too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm 100% swimming it too. I'm definitely holding my breath. I'm thinking about okay, nail this nail this turn. I think people hate sitting next to me because I'm calling it as they're doing it. That wasn't a good stroke. Come on, make sure you don't get that breath. Don't breathe into the wall. And
how about
full commentation.
So now you're talking about commentating.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss being over here with us?
I love being over here with you. It's the closest thing that, I feel like when I'm doing something like this, it's out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
When you do stuff that's live, when you do stuff that's even unscripted, when we're just banter back and forth, it's the closest thing to being behind the blocks to me.
Yeah.
And I love it. I do enjoy it so much. And that's why I thank you for letting me come up and
Are
have
you
that
kidding?
feeling again.
Cullen, we could not do this without having you on here.
Appreciate
because
that.
I adore you so much. You
Thank
and I
you. Right
always
back
have
at you.
lovely conversations,
Yes.
more off the air, but also on the air.
Yes.
But you're just one of those people I love talking
Thank
to.
you.
I love what you're doing. Please continue so that we can see more people of color up there.
That's right.
Because you are rocking and rolling. Let me tell you what, Miss Simone Manuel will be the second American woman to win the 50 freestyle in the Olympics.
I can't say anything bad, but you're darn right.
You darn right. You darn tootin'.
You darn tootin'.
Cullen, thank you for joining me tonight. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Amy.
it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
All right, tonight we have got a jam-packed schedule. We were just talking about it with Cullen. So many finals, so many semifinals, and listen, we are going to crown some more new Olympians, and we will probably have one of them here with us tonight on the last session presented by Golden Road Brewing. So here's the deal, guys. Go to NBC, watch the finals, and then come right back here. We'll see you in just a little bit. Have a good one.